Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into a career path that's been generating a lot of buzz lately.
That feeling.
Onshore Wind Energy Engineering.
Right.
You've provided a ton of material from RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're seriously considering joining this booming field.
It is booming. The demand for these specialized engineers is incredible right now.
That's what's got me so curious.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen those massive wind farms popping up.
Right.
But what's the story behind them? What does an onshore wind energy engineer actually do?
They're the architects, the engineers, and the problem solvers behind those wind farms.
Okay.
It's not as simple as just finding a big empty field and sticking a turbine in the ground.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the nuances of wind energy, the environment, and even the concerns of the local community.
So walk me through it. Where does the process even begin?
First, you need data.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about a weather vane on a roof.
Yeah.
These engineers use sophisticated wind maps, which are like detailed maps showing wind speeds and patterns across different regions.
Right.
They also conduct environmental impact assessments to ensure that the wind farm won't negatively impact local wildlife or ecosystems.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
Finding that sweet spot where you can maximize energy production while minimizing environmental impact.
Exactly. It's a constant challenge, but that's what makes this field so interesting.
Right.
They're always having to weigh different factors and come up with innovative solutions.
Okay, so let's say you've identified a promising location.
Right.
What happens next?
Then comes the design phase where things get really technical.
Okay.
The engineer has to determine the optimal layout of the wind farm.
Okay.
How many turbines can be installed? How should they be spaced to maximize wind capture and minimize interference? What type of turbines will be most efficient for the specific wind conditions in that location?
Right.
These are all critical decisions that fall under the engineer's purview.
It sounds incredibly complex. It's like a giant high-stakes puzzle.
Right.
But instead of pieces, you're fitting together massive turbines.
You could say that.
Right.
And each piece of that puzzle has to be carefully considered.
Right.
For example, the height of the turbine tower is crucial.
Okay.
Taller towers can access stronger winds,
Sure.
but they also come with logistical challenges and higher costs.
So it's all about finding that balance again.
Yeah.
Cost effectiveness versus energy output.
Precisely. And then there's the selection of the turbines themselves.
Okay.
Do you go with geared or gearless turbines? What blade size and design will be most efficient for the wind speeds and turbulence levels in that area?
Right.
These are all factors the engineer has to analyze and make decisions on.
It sounds like they hold a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. You're not just designing a wind farm, you're shaping the future of energy in that region.
Absolutely. And that's just the design phase.
Wow.
Once the wind farm is built, the engineer's job is far from over.
Let me guess. It's not like those turbines just spin happily ever after, right?
Not quite.
Okay.
They require regular maintenance to ensure they're operating at peak efficiency and to address any issues that arise.
Right.
And because wind turbines are exposed to the elements 24/7,
Yeah.
things can and do go wrong. We're talking extreme weather conditions, mechanical wear and tear, and even the occasional bird strike.
So you also need to be a bit of a detective, figuring out why a turbine might not be performing as expected.
Exactly. Troubleshooting is a big part of the job.
Wow.
The engineer might have to analyze data from the turbine's sensors, inspect the blades for damage, or even climb the tower to get a closer look at the gearbox or generator.
Oh, wow. It sounds like you need nerves of steel to be an onshore wind energy engineer.
Right.
But besides a healthy fear of heights, what other qualities are essential for success in this field?
Well, a strong foundation in engineering is obviously crucial.
Right.
Most aspiring engineers specialize in mechanical, electrical, or even a dedicated renewable energy engineering program during their studies.
So you've got to love your physics and calculus. But what about those softer skills we hear so much about these days?
Oh, absolutely.
Are they important in a field as technical as this one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is where those analytical skills become so vital.
Okay.
Onshore wind energy engineers work with massive data sets. We're talking terabytes of information, from wind speed analysis and energy production projections to those environmental impact assessments we talked about earlier.
It's almost like being a data detective, sifting through all that information to uncover insights and make informed decisions.
Precisely.
Right.
And because the field is constantly evolving, you need to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Always eager to explore new technologies and adapt to the latest research.
That's something that always stands out in RoleCatcher's resources. The emphasis on continuous learning.
Yeah.
They even recommend specific online courses in industry journals to help you stay ahead of the curve.
They really do their homework.
Right.
And it highlights how vital adaptability is in this line of work. Weather patterns are inherently unpredictable.
Yeah.
Technology is constantly advancing, and new challenges pop up all the time.
Speaking of challenges, RoleCatcher also dives into the realities of working in this field, both the positives and the, shall we say, character-building aspects.
It's true. No career is without its downsides.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges in wind energy is the issue of intermittency.
Okay.
The wind doesn't blow consistently, which means you can't always generate power exactly when you need it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can have the most efficient wind turbines in the world, but they're useless if the air is still.
Right. That's where energy storage solutions come into play.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other area of intense research and development.
Right.
We're talking about things like advanced battery systems, pumped hydro storage, even using excess wind energy to produce hydrogen.
It's amazing how solving one challenge in renewable energy often leads to new opportunities and innovations in other areas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes this field so dynamic and exciting.
Right.
You're not just working on a single solution. You're contributing to a whole ecosystem of interconnected technologies, all aimed at creating a more sustainable future.
And that future's looking brighter all the time, especially when you consider the career trajectory for someone entering the wind energy sector.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that career path from those early days to, well, maybe one day becoming the big boss.
It's a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like most engineering fields, you typically start in an entry-level position,
Right.
working under the guidance of a more experienced engineer.
So no designing revolutionary wind farms on day one.
Probably not.
Okay.
But those early years are all about building a solid foundation.
Yeah.
You might be assisting with data analysis, running
Right.
simulations,
Right.
or even getting your hands dirty out in the field, learning how to inspect and maintain turbines.
It's about paying your dues, mastering the fundamentals, and proving yourself capable of handling the challenges of working in a demanding field.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And as you gain experience and knowledge, you'll gradually take on more responsibility.
Right.
You might move into a junior engineer role where you start designing smaller components of a project or managing specific aspects of the construction process.
So you're working your way up the wind turbine ladder, gaining valuable experience with each step. What comes after that junior engineer phase?
That's when things really start to get interesting. With several years of experience under your belt, you might find yourself stepping into a senior engineer role.
Okay, time for the big leagues. What does that look like day to day?
As a senior engineer, you're leading projects from start to finish. You're the one responsible for designing those massive wind farms, overseeing the construction process, and ensuring everything meets safety and performance standards. You're also managing budgets, coordinating with contractors, and maybe even presenting your designs to stakeholders and investors.
It sounds like a challenging but incredibly rewarding role. You're not just an engineer anymore. You're a project leader, a problem solver, and a key player in the transition to renewable energy.
It's a lot of responsibility, but it also comes with a great deal of autonomy and creative freedom. You have the opportunity to put your stamp on a project, to innovate, and to really push the boundaries of what's possible in wind energy.
And knowing that your work is contributing to a cleaner, more sustainable future, that's got to be pretty motivating.
Absolutely. And for those with a real entrepreneurial spirit and a knack for leadership, there's always the path of becoming a project manager or even starting your own wind energy consultancy.
That's something RoleCatcher highlighted. The sheer variety of career paths within this field. You can be hands-on with the technology, focus on the business and finance side, or even specialize in research and development.
The options are truly vast and constantly expanding as the industry grows and evolves.
And speaking of RoleCatcher, I have to ask about one of their features that really intrigued me, the salary insights. It's one thing to be passionate about a field, but it's also important to know what kind of earning potential it offers.
Right. They do provide some valuable data on that front. And as you might expect, experience is key. Entry-level positions offer a comfortable starting salary, but as you climb the ladder and take on more responsibility, those figures increase significantly.
That makes sense. It's all about supply and demand. The more specialized your skills and the more in demand your expertise, the better your negotiating position.
Precisely. And don't forget about those soft skills we talked about earlier. Strong communication, teamwork, and problem-solving abilities, those are all highly valued in this field and can make a big difference when it comes to salary negotiations.
It's a good reminder that a successful career isn't just about technical knowledge. It's about being adaptable, a team player, and a continuous learner.
Couldn't agree more. And RoleCatcher reinforces this by providing resources on interview skills, resume writing, and even networking within the industry. They really do try to equip you with everything you need to put your best foot forward.
That's what I appreciate about their approach. It's not just about finding a job. It's about building a fulfilling and sustainable career in a field that you're passionate about.
Well said. And when you're passionate about something, when you truly believe in the work you're doing, it hardly feels like work at all.
And in a field as impactful as onshore wind energy, knowing you're contributing to a greener future, that's got to add an extra layer of satisfaction.
Absolutely. It's about being part of something bigger than yourself, about using your skills and knowledge to make a real difference in the world.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the intricate details of wind turbine design to the career path of an onshore wind energy engineer. It's clear that this field requires a unique blend of technical expertise, problem-solving skills, and a passion for sustainability.
It's a demanding field, no doubt, but it's also incredibly rewarding. And as the world continues its transition to cleaner energy sources, the demand for skilled engineers is only going to grow.
So for anyone listening who's been considering a career in this field, I encourage you to dive deeper. Explore the resources RoleCatcher provides. Connect with people in the industry and see if this path aligns with your passions and aspirations.
You might just discover your dream career at the forefront of a global energy revolution.
What a thought. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the possibilities. From all of us here at The Deep Dive, thanks for joining us on this exploration of a fascinating and impactful career path.